What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Happy Hump Day. It's Hump Day, baby. Jonathan, what's happening, my Prime Minister of Valuable Intel? I want to talk about 7 players who probably should be traded, maybe even at the deadline, but probably most likely won't be, right? For whatever reason. Merk, what's up, man? And you let me know what your thoughts are, gang, right? As we wait for through a cloud of speculation and phony trade proposals and this and blah, blah, blah towards the trade deadline, this is something I think it would be entertaining. I'm going to do my trade deadline predictions in the next couple of days as well, especially since there aren't really many moves that are happening yet. So buckle up and get ready. It's very quiet right now. You're right. So that's the reason why I want to talk about this. Here are 7 players, again, that I think should be traded, but most likely won't be. Okay. The first 2 are from the same team, the Kansas City Royals. You know who this guy is, right? That's Michael Franco, their third baseman. Okay. Michael Garcia, not Franco. My apologies. Michael Garcia. He's batting .291 this year, 8 homers, 41 ribbies with a 788 OPS. He's an athletic, versatile third baseman. He puts the ball in place, a contact guy with some speed. Okay. He's also a free agent in 2030. So beyond this year, you have 4 more years of control. He's also rated in the top 10 in Major League Baseball defensive metrics. Okay. That's one guy. And his teammate, this is Lucas Ursay. That's not Seth Lugo. He's one of their relievers. He's 4-3 with a 2.50 ERA. 34 innings pitched, 34 Ks, a 113 whip. He's also a free agent in 2030. You got 4 years of control beyond this year. Okay, 2 valuable assets. And why do I bring these guys up? Well, the fact of the matter is, Seth Lugo's name is being brought up right now a lot in trade rumors, right? And if they're going to trade Seth Lugo, probably their most consistent starting pitcher, well, number one, why? And 2, then you might as well put these other guys in the market. But I don't think they will be. But these guys will probably extract a hell of a lot more value than Seth Lugo would. So then the Royals always seem to be in that purgatory, right? They're good, but not good enough, right? And especially the American League Central, which is also probably the weakest division in baseball. It's not the American League East, right? So, and again, we don't know who the sellers are yet. We don't know we have an idea who the buyers are. But sometimes Tuesday sellers can be Wednesday buyers. Sometimes Wednesday buyers can be Thursday sellers. And this always happens trade deadline week as well. So that's why it's going to be the interesting part, the fascinating part, the frustrating part, and everything. And if people wondering why the Yankees haven't made deals, this is a reason why, right? We don't know who the sellers are. We have no clarity, right? Brian Cashman, he's working the phones, but people have to pick up. People have to be willing to work with him in order to do this, right? So he just can't say, yeah, send your guy over. This is what we're giving you, right? That's really not the way it is in reality. Cadiz, hello. Duran, what's up, man? But again, we are knowing right now. We're still getting more corroborating reporting that there's going to be a relative short list of premier players, and there's going to be a high price attached to them, and there's going to be a lot of buyers bidding for them, which means it's a seller's market. So it's going to be harder to make deals, particularly with the expanded playoffs as well. So all these things are important to factor in, right? And again, we don't know. We don't know who's on the fence. Like, we have no idea. We talk about this as, like, in terms of third base, as it relates to the Yankees, Suarez has a hot bat, but he's got a deficient glove. Brian Hayes has a hot glove, but he's got a deficient bat. Ryan McMahon from the Rockies has balanced offensively and defensively. Neither one of them is flashy, right? Offense or defense. But if you can get 20-plus home runs out of him every single year and a 750 OPS, that's something worth signing up for, right? So what if Suarez comes in here, hits 50 home runs, but he costs the Yankees 5 games with errors? People are going to be remembering his errors instead of his home runs, just like they remember Spencer Jones' strikeouts instead of his home runs, right? This is just the universe that we live in with a lot of Yankee fans, right? And no matter, I don't know why. This is also a reason why try to come up with productive things to talk about, constructive things, instead of just complaining what everybody else is complaining about just for the sake of complaining. People need a villain. People need the person to hate. People need a person to blame all the time, right? Whatever. That's on them. That's on them. There's going to be tons of rumors, no doubt about it, right? So those are the first two guys. Now, the next player I have here and this is a more significant player, Mason Miller from the A's. We're getting all kinds of reporting too. Now, if you haven't heard about Mason Miller, he just hit Super 2 status, meaning what? He's going to get a 4th year of arbitration instead of the 3rd. 4th year. So that's going to increase his trade value even more. And the Dodgers might lose Tanner Scott. So the Dodgers are going to be in contention for him. The Blue Jays, the Yankees, we don't know. Now, we don't even know if he's going to be placed on the market. But he's 1-3 with a 4 ERA. Nothing flashy, nothing sexy, but he's got 37 innings pitched and 57 strikeouts, okay, versus 17 walks. It's about a 3-to-1 ratio, okay? And he also has 104, 105 mile an hour fastball. This guy is nasty with the pitches. That's why if you get somebody like Matt Blake to work with him, that could be a good thing. But we just don't know yet. As much as we would love Brian Cashman to get him, we don't know if it's going to be possible, and we don't know how much it's going to cost. Okay? People can just speculate like a whole bunch of other people. But this is another guy I think should be traded for a change of scenery and just put on a better team where he can provide more value to, but I don't think he will be. I could be wrong. Crazy things have happened. But that's Mason Miller, okay? Next, I've got 2 St. Louis Cardinals. Lars Nootbaar, okay? Nootbaar, batting .227, 12 homers, 37 ribbies, and a 712 OPS. So relatively consistent across the board, okay? He's also going to be a free agent in 2028. So you have 2 years of control beyond this year. And then you have his teammate, Brendan Donovan, right? I talk about this guy all the time. Why? Because I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Yankees. Okay, he is leading the National League right now with a .295 batting average. National League does not have a single player over 300. But we have people, content creators, complaining that Aaron Judge is only hitting .345. 50 points higher than anybody in the National League. 50! And you have people actually complaining that Judge isn't doing it enough, that we're not criticizing him enough for only hitting .345. A completely clueless take about baseball. Completely. Okay? But Brendan Donovan's batting .295, 8 homers, 39 ribbies, 791 OPS. He's also not going to be a free agent until 2028. Okay? Controllable years as well beyond this year. And again, he's leading the National League in hitting. Okay? That is my man crush. People can call him man crush. Oh, yeah. I think he would be a perfect fit for the Yankees. Even though the Yankees might be looking for a lefty bat, a righty bat for third base, I would take him over Eugenio Suarez any day of the week. And he would cost more than Suarez. Okay, and rightfully so. Okay. That's the guy. But again, he should be traded. Again, the Cardinals seem to be in that same purgatory as the Royals. Just, they're good enough, but not good enough to go take the next step. And now that you had the Cubs and the Brewers in a battle for National League Central supremacy, it might be a good time for the Cardinals to consider selling players, right? Extracting some value back in the trade. You can get a lot of pieces for Nootbaar, a lot of pieces for Donovan. So like JoJo Murray can move him. It sounds like they're considering moving Ryan Helsley, their closer. He's going to be a free agent. These other guys are not going to be. Okay? But these right here are 2 guys from the same team that I think should be traded and most likely would not be. Okay? And the last 2 I have are with our Yankees. Okay? You know what that is? Carlos Legrand. Okay? Big minor league pitcher in Double-A. We got a couple of content creators, a couple of channels saying we can't move him. He's so untouchable. Why? Okay? He's got a big arm. There's no doubt about it. He hasn't even started his service clock yet. He's 8-4 right now with a .396 ERA, 77 innings pitched and 113 strikeouts. His strikeout rate is crazy high. He's got a huge fastball too. The problem, okay, is that he's spent multiple trips on IL over the last couple of years. So at some point, you're probably choosing between his potential and his health, okay, which could be a reason that I think he should be traded. Okay, we have other arms like that, like Cam Schlittler. I like him. If he stays, I'm happy with him fine as well. But there's not many pieces in the Yankees farm or a major league roster which they could extract value back in a trade, even in a complementary role in a trade, right? He would be one of them. Okay. And the other guy, Jesus Rodriguez. Yeah. He was hitting like 390 early in the season. Now he's down to about 310 right now, something like that, which is still solid. And he's in AAA. Okay. He's got 3 homers, 35 ribbies. He's actually been 294. 3 homers, 35 ribbies, 775 OPS. Neither one of these guys have started their service time clock. Okay. But again, I'm not sure if Jesus Rodriguez is good enough to lead a package. He would be a great second piece in a package. Let's just say we won't give you Spencer Jones, but we'll give you Everson Pereira and Jesus Rodriguez. That is a nice pair right there for a trade if you want to get a big arm. And boy, LeGrand, he might be a perfect bullpen candidate. He might be. If they keep him, I'm hoping that they consider him for that, even if it's long relief. He's a big strikeout guy. Okay. Eric Fedde, the guy that so many people wanted the Yankees to trade for. Maybe now they can get him for free. If he was DFA'd by the Cardinals or to be DFA'd by the Cardinals, let's look up Eric Fedde. Thank you, Jonathan. This is why Jonathan's so valuable. Okay. Gets the information and no one else is getting. No one else is talking about, right? And let's pull up Eric Fedde's stats. He is 3-10, not sexy. 5.22 ERA, also not sexy. 63 Ks and 150 whip, not sexy at all. And I'm not exactly sure why so many fans wanted the Yankees to get him, but those are his stats, right? Yeah, well, this is the thing, too, Duran. Yeah, Vivas is playing. There are a lot of players who play well in AAA and don't hit a lick in the majors. Okay? We don't know. There's no spot for Jesus right now, unfortunately. He is on the 40-man, yes. But my guess is they're feeling the same way, that he'll be better off served as a trade package or a trade piece. If the Yankees do not add a third baseman in a trade, then it makes sense to give him an opportunity. No doubt about it. My guess, if they bring up somebody like Ryan McMahon, he's going to be better than Jesus Rodriguez. Okay? So, unfortunately. Okay, and well, Double A is deeper than Triple A. Deeper pitching wise. So the hitting has to be better. That's why some hitters they struggle with their adjustment period in Double A, like George Lombard is doing right now. Right? And it took Spencer Jones a little bit. And then he was murdering the ball in Double A. And that's why it was called the Triple A. He's murdering the ball even worse right now in Triple A. So I don't know. But Jesus Rodriguez's stats have also come down to earth, which is why that's why I say these guys they should consider trading him because they could extract value back, but they likely won't. Just like these other guys, Mason Miller, Brendan Donovan, Lars Nootbaar, right, Michael Garcia, Lucas Erceg. I think they should be considered to be trade pieces for the teams, but their teams will very likely not trade them. Right? Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, another one. Yeah, he's in high A. He's pitching well. Deb, what's up, my man? So he's pitching well. But I wanted to go over these 7 players. Wanted to give your take. Are there any players you think you would add to this list, folks? Players you think that should be traded but likely won't be at the deadline, right? I think these names are sensible names. I do. We'll see. Some of them might get moved. I would be shocked, though, if more than 2 of them got moved. But you never know. You absolutely never know. Like I said, somebody, they might not bite on Wednesday, but they'll bite on the deal on Thursday because the deal could be sweetened up, right? So I think Everson Pereira's got 18 home runs in AAA right now. He's a good hitter. He doesn't have the upside from a metric standpoint that Spencer Jones has, so I understand that. But he's not something to sniff at either. He'll be a good piece in a trade, Everson Pereira, for a team that needs a young outfielder. Bill Lowe, what's happening, my man? So that's why these pieces. And I think there are other guys that Brian Cashman's going to try to package in a trade, like TJ Rumfield and some of these other folks. Right? Oh, Mr. Matt Killer, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here, you troll. Get out of here. Go troll for those weak channels, dude. Yeah. These trolls are so weak. So weak. Rock Rizzo is another guy that will be asked for. He's also hitting extremely well right now in Double A. Extremely well since he's come up in a short sample size too. So he's a solid second base prospect. He is on the righty side. He's a guy that could extract value. I think in a complimentary piece too, right? But I do think Pereira is most likely going to get moved. And they're going to try to move some of these other guys. So they're going to try to clear up a couple spots on the 40-man so that they can move guys up onto the 40-man to protect them from the Rule 5 draft. They have to do that to take, get them, protect them from being poached from Rule 5. And the Yankees have a lot of players every year get poached from the Rule 5 draft, right? So, but these 7, can you guys think of anybody else? Cruz Rodriguez will be in demand. Anybody that has an arm that big, right? And Legrand, this is where in situations where you might want to capitalize on some of these big arms. Like Legrand's got an injury history. That's why I would capitalize on that if I could, right? Just like I wanted to capitalize on Luis Hill after he won Rookie of the Year before he missed almost the whole entire season this year from an injury, right? Timing is an important thing too. But they didn't do that, so it is what it is. Cunningham. How do you know they're on the block, Billo? How do you know the guys are on the block? We try to do some good stuff here, Rodney, man. I appreciate the kind words, man. We try to keep everybody informed. We try to give people something different to think about, right? So many people just want to complain about Anthony Volpe every day. They're not happy unless they're complaining about somebody or blaming somebody, or they're not happy unless they're miserable. They could do that. That's on them, right? So Loizaga too. Loizaga and Ian Hamilton are going to be the most vulnerable, I think, if the Yankees add some relievers, right? They're going to be the most vulnerable. Appreciate you, Rodney. Well, they could be. They could be, Deron. Yeah, I don't think the Yankees are going to trade Chase Hampton, but they have to put him on the 40-man to protect him from Rule 5. Just like Spencer Jones, he has to put on the 40-man to be protected from Rule 5. Those guys will get poached, no question about it, if they're unprotected. And why would you do that? Right? Afternoon, Tim. What's happening, my man? And Hampton's got one of their big arms, big power arms coming off. Tommy John, yes. But he was one of their most promising pitching prospects that they've had. And they regard him quite high. Just like they're regarding Legrand and Hess and Cunningham. You don't get drafted in the first round, second round if they don't regard you highly. So Sean Newcomb, another guy to think about. Yeah. And I agree too, John. They will trade from the next group. Some of it they will, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. The guys that need to be protected from Rule 5. Right? But in terms of the top guys, like I'm not trading Spencer Jones for a rental. There's no way in the world doing that. And keep in mind, what if Suarez comes here, hits boatloads of home runs, but he cost the Yankees a couple games with errors? What if that happens? Yeah, we'll see, Tim. I mean, there were so many folks saying the Blue Jays were going to sweep the Yankees. It was over. The series is over. The season's over. Blah, blah. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat. OL troll. What weak channel are you trolling for, dude? Instead of creating different profiles, just say what channel you're trolling for. Man up, dude. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Eric Fetty. So is it official now, Joseph? They fade Eric Fetty. So this might mean they're looking to trade for a starting pitcher now. Man, that would be great. We'll give you Will Warren for Brendan Donovan. Let's go. I'll throw Legrand in there too. We'll give you those guys for Brendan Donovan. Come on, baby. Let's go. We'll give you 2 pitchers for Donovan, man. Yeah, it's Max Free versus Chris Bassett. Yep. It's gonna be a good one today. Well, exactly, Ron. You're not trading our future for a rental, man. Like we don't even know who the sellers are yet. We haven't heard any. And again, teams generally they're not going to make public their trade proposal before a deal has been accepted or rejected. Okay, so whatever this whole thing is, a trade on the table. That's not from either team. They don't make that public. They send it to each other, and you'll find out exactly what the trade package was after it gets rejected. If you go somewhere else, you'll find out eventually what the trade package would have been, but you're not going to find out ahead of time. Okay, that's just the way that it is. I think Roderick Harris is also on trial. I agree. Oh, I'm not giving up, Joseph. Believe me. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dang. Heck, get that fresh cut, man. Get that. I appreciate the super chat, man. But you look sharp with that fresh cut, man. Keep it fresh, bro. Yeah, when it's crazy. The first blockbuster already happened with Devers going to the Giants, right? But we'll find out more in the next couple of days. I mean, we are 8 days away from the trading deadline. 8 days. So, there's a lot that can happen that likely won't happen until trade deadline day. So, which is why I'm going to be live for so long on trade deadline day. So we can report all this stuff live time as it comes in, which I cannot wait for. Can't wait for. No. Yes, indeed. San Francisco, yeah, they absorbed all of Devers' contract. That's right. And I'm sure Boston was ecstatic about it too. Razelman, yep. Selvage, Carr, yeah. Yeah, I mean San Francisco, they brought in what's the name, Willie Adames. They brought back Matt Chapman. So you add Devers to that, but there's something there that's preventing them from getting the high end free agency. You're right. I mean, Adames has not lived up to his contract yet, so we'll have to see there. I do think too, Merck, we're going to get a majority of our trades on trade deadline day. They probably will, all things. We'll see. I do think they're going to take it seriously. Got Max Fried on the mound. We got the right guy on the mound, but we need our offense to be stepping up a little bit. We need to be consistent. We need bullpen arms right now. We need them right now. So I'm hoping that trades happen in the near future for the Yankees. I really do, because we need these arms. Like, as much as it would have been nice to sign David Robertson, you can't even utilize him for weeks because he needs a ramp up period. So, that's why trades right now would be a good idea. That's why I'm looking down to see if there's anything in the works. I'm not talking about chatter from other people, right? Oh yeah, there it is. There, Eric Fetty. The Yankees could get Fetty. Look, this is also, if you can't trade for Zach Gallen or trade for Merrill Kelly, can you bring in a guy like Fetty and let Matt Blake work for him? You get him on the cheap. You don't have to give a lot of prospects for him because he's DFA'd now. If he goes through waivers, does he fall to the Yankees? He probably would. Would the Yankees claim him? Right? The Guardians are offering offers on Shane Bieber. Yeah. Vladdy and Bo for Judge. I would pass on that, Tim. Bo's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. It's all good, Beagle. Cruz is going to help the bullpen, but I still think we need more pieces beyond him. Right? So let's see here, because the fact is, they're also using Tim Hill on an almost daily basis, which is why I think Yarbrough would be a good idea to have as a lefty guy in long relief. We need another lefty in the bullpen right now. We cannot use Tim Hill every single day. We can't do it. But he's the only lefty we have now. Yeah. Judge he makes like 140 million less than Vladdy. Yeah. Weaver and Williams have been better. Yes, they have. But we still need another beyond that. De Los Santos has been decent. I agree too. And that's my fear, Jonathan, is that Tim Hill's going to burn out, right? And I don't want that to happen. I really don't. Because you know how good he was in the postseason last year and at the end of the season? He was one of our rocks. And we've got to have enough guys here to protect him so he can continue to be consistent, not be fried come the postseason, right? You can use him in high leverage situations, but I wouldn't use him as often because he'll wear out. And Yarbrough will be bridging. So would Luis Hill. Yarbrough would be a perfect fit. Because I said a lot too. As the season winds down, you get to the postseason. The only thing you're going to be facing is good teams in the postseason. And the starting pitchers don't last as long, right? So let's just say Rodon or Hill won't get through 3 innings. Do you really want to use your bullpen for 6 innings, knowing you have to play tomorrow again? Or somebody like Yarbrough or Hill can come in and throw 4 or 5 innings, right? 4 innings. And then now you're in the 8th inning with only 2 pitchers instead of having used 6. That's a huge difference. The long relief guys protect the short relievers a hell of a lot more than people think they do. Which is why I think it's a good idea to have 2 long relievers. And that's something I've been pushing for like 2 years. You know, and Yarbrough and Hill right now as a way of protecting them too. Hill has too many injuries, right? And I would put both of them in long relief right now when they come back. Yep. I don't know if they're going to move Schiller. I think he's more suitable for the rotation than Hill. Hill sometimes has location problems. So that's one reason I would work on him and just get some darts out of him in the bullpen. But that's just me. That's just me. So that's the thing. Yeah, we need length, more consistent length for the rotation. Now that we lost Schmidt, right? So that's what I'm talking about, Andrew. That's why long relief would be so valuable here. If we're only getting 5 out of starters, you get somebody like that, and you get 3 innings of darts from Luis Hill. I'll take that all day, baby, all day. Cody Poteet, that's a good question, Bill. I don't know. Oh, I know. You're not the only one who wants Hill as the closer. Yeah. I mean, Jonathan's talked about it with me, a Hill at a closer position too. I mean, look, you could have a failed starter. It's not really a failed starter. Like Mariano Rivera was a failed starter, turned into a reliever, right? Hill could be a starter that just failed to stay healthy. That you return to a reliever could have a massive impact. So we already know he has a big arm. No. Caskets. What's happening at Caskets? Poteet is saying he might be injured. I don't know. LaGrange could be a valuable piece too. He's got 102, 103 mile an hour fastball. The guy throws gas, absolute gas. So that to me is a valuable piece. Now he's in Double-A, so does it translate upward? We don't know. I don't know. But if you're going to give an arm a chance, probably him, right? Probably him. There will be a crunch in the pen at some point. But that's okay, because there are a couple of expendable guys like Ian Hamilton, like Johnny Loizaga. Those guys are expendable, in my opinion, right now, unfortunately for them. If the Yankees want to tighten things up in the bullpen and get better, they're going to have to make some tough decisions. Yeah, I mean, Leiter could be on the outs, too. He could be very well on the outs. And that could be Hill, Yarbrough, and another reliever, right? That could be those 3 guys. Let's just say it's Jake Bird. Hill, Yarbrough, and Jake Bird from the Rockies, right? Whatever. I'm not worried about Max Fried. No, not that yet. I mean, it's possible to get Suarez, Kelly, and Bird. I just don't know how much it's going to cost. I mean, it would not be cheap. Yeah, German Marquez on the injury list. Tanner Scott as of last night's on the injury list from the Dodgers. Yeah, Cruz, De Los Santos, and Yarbrough. Yep. The Mariners are in on him aggressively right now, so I wouldn't rule them out. I wouldn't rule out the Tigers either, right? I wouldn't rule any of these teams out. We just don't know. We just don't know. Do these guys? I mean, the Arizona Diamondbacks are prioritizing young pitching. What young pitching do the Mariners have that aren't on their young major league staff? Because they're not going to trade Brian Wu or one of these guys, Logan Gilbert, for 2 months of Suarez. We know that. This is where the Yankees have an advantage, at the very least, over the Mariners, where they have young major league ready pitching, right? But it really depends on what the price is going to be. Right? I would not trade for Beatty and Vientos. Vientos is like a platoon guy. Beatty doesn't really show me enough. And there's no way I would trade Dominguez or Bellinger for him. There's no way in the world. I'll do that. Well, it's the thing, too. Do the Mariners think he's the one missing piece for them to compete for a World Series? If they do, then maybe they'll go in on him. But if not, because he's a trial run, he's also a rental, is it worth it for them to give up a ton? They have a few arms in the minors, but let's pull up the Mariners' top prospects here, right? We'll look at this lifetime here, okay? Mariners' top prospects. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their best pitching prospect is their 7th prospect, and he's not projected to be up in the majors until 2027. Then you have their 8th prospect. There's another pitching prospect not projected to be up until 2028. So before that, it's all position players in their top 6 for their pitching prospects. So they do have some pitching prospects, but are they willing to do that? Is that enough for the Diamondbacks? I don't know. And I do agree they need more in Suarez. Yeah, 100%. But like, we don't know Merrill Kelly. I know what they're listening on. We know that they're listening on Zach Gallen. We know the Yankees have sent scouts to the teams to listen and watch these guys. So, but beyond them and Suarez, who else is available? Because they're not going to move Corbin Carroll. They're not going to move Ketel Marte. So, Cards want young starters for next year. Hill, Schlittler, and Warren. Maybe for Donovan, it's a different story. I would give Hill or Warren for Donovan. Donovan to me is a different plane than Suarez because of the controllable years and his contact skills and his base running acumen, his defensive strength in the infield. He plays second and third. He's a better defender than Suarez is. And there's no offensive player that has the pop in his bat that Suarez does. We get that, but do you have to risk it being offset by bad defense? You might have to. You don't really have to worry about that with guys like Brendan Donovan or Ryan McMahon. The stats offensively are not flashy, but do they need to be? The Yankees are already top 3 or top 4 in baseball in terms of offensive performance. Their run differential is the biggest in baseball, right? So their offense is doing it, but you can score 8 runs on a regular basis, but if your pitching is giving up 10, that's not good, right? They need to add this. Why they need to add relievers right now, right? Cease on Mark, yeah, but it's Cease. I'm not giving up Jones for Cease. There's no freaking way. Coach Carl, how you doing, my man? You would trade Oswald Peraza for Ohtani and Betts. They might have to throw in Freeman too. Look, let's be fair here, Carl. You might have to throw in Freeman. If you want Peraza, you got to throw in Freeman, Ohtani and Betts. Don't go light on us, man. You need Peraza, baby. You know we're joking, right, Benji? So yeah. Yeah, San Diego's going to want a piece for Cease. They're going to want a decent package for Cease. And I don't think Arenado's happening yet. But Cease, I see the Padres adding somebody like Jarren Duran or like an outfielder instead of trading away a pitcher. Right? So. Well, exactly, too, Bob. Man, this is a good point from Jonathan, too. Perspective here, right? The prospect of trading deadline 3 years ago, Diego Cartaya was the number one prospect, Dodgers' number one prospect. He was untouchable. Now he's a prospect never made. This is true. Who is he with now? Twins? The Twins? Yeah, this is a good question too, Coach Carl. What would we have to give up for Cade Smith? Let's pull up Cade Smith right here. Let's look at this lifetime right now so we can have some tangible data to work with, right? Cade Smith. All right, let's look at his contract first. His first, right? Contract. Cade Smith. Cade Smith contract. Okay. Major League contract. He's got, yeah, he's not a free agent until 2030. That's serious value. Now let's look up his stats. Cade Smith's stats, right? Because the performance matches the controllable years. That's the type of valuable weapon that you're gonna have. He's 2-3 with a 3.12 ERA. 43 innings pitched, 64 strikeouts. So he averages a lot of strikeouts. A whip of 1.22. And in his career, 118 innings pitched, 167 strikeouts. So he generates a lot of swing and misses. So my guess, Coach Carl, is let's actually look up Indians. No, excuse me. Indians, my God. Guardians. Trade deadline needs. Let's look up their needs here, okay? They want to improve their offense from trade, potentially by trading from a strong bullpen. So any particular position they're looking at here? They're looking for non-arbitration eligible major league ready bats for hitting prospects. Boost their offense, particularly with right-handed bat to support the. So they want a right-handed bat. Jesus Rodriguez and Everson Pereira. Did I talk about it before? They want right-handed bats. Those are two good right-handed bats right there. Jesus Rodriguez and Everson Pereira. And you can goose it up a little bit with somebody else. A pitching prospect, something like that for Cade Smith. That would be a nice little trade, I think, for the Guardians. Yeah, Pereira and Jesus. Right? The Braves, the Brewers, yeah. They're still paying. The Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla. He played since like 1990. So, yeah. You're taking crazy. I would not do that. Duran and Jax. I mean, I would take on something, but not Correa. That's a lot. Let's pull up Correa's. Well, hang on a second. Let's put that in perspective because there are vesting option components. Carlos Correa contract. And there are stipulations within his contract of a vesting nature, right? Major League contract. Okay, so he's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 3 more years that are not vesting options. 3 more guaranteed years at $33 million a year. That's a lot of money. And then there are 4 vesting options after that. The vesting option for the first one is $25 million. He has to have 575 plate appearances, top 5 MVP, a Silver Slugger, LCS MVP, and a World Series. There are criteria for him to hit just to get these options vested. And each year, a vesting option goes down by 25 at bats, but the same criteria: Silver Slugger, LCS MVP. So I doubt any of these vesting options would vest. So you could take kind of comfort in that, but he's also injury prone, right? He's also known as a clutch player. So you essentially would be taking on 3 guaranteed years, age 31, 32, and 33, right? And hope that that last year they don't get into the World Series because that stuff wouldn't vest. So now Carlos Correa stats. Let's pull up his stats right now. But there's a criteria for all these things to vest. He's batting .266, 7 home runs with a WAR of 0.1. So not really impactful. Okay. He's got 31 ribbies, 319 OPS. His OPS is 711. So It's not worth $33 million a year. Rockies. See, this is why Rockies roster 2025. Let's pull up the Rockies roster here. Caros. What the hell? Come on, guys. What's going on here? Okay. Pull up Caros here. Okay, he's not on the major league roster. Caros. Top prospects. Dominguez for Brian Buxton. I would just keep Dominguez, Benji. Personally, I would keep Dominguez. Who's the Rockies' top? Where's Caros? I don't see this guy, Caros. Did I miss him on the major league roster? Oh, he's in Arizona Coastal. Okay. He's too far off. I get it. Okay. Wait, Rockies. Their third baseman is Ryan McMahon. Depth chart. Infield, second base, third base. Yeah, you got Ryan McMahon, Kyle Farmer, and Tyler Freeman are the three guys on the third base chart for the Rockies. So you might be a prospect, low down in the farm. But yeah, I think if they're gonna make a trade with the Rockies, it's got to be McMahon and Jake Bird. I think that's the trade that probably has to happen. I don't know about Bo Bichette being an option too. Now with George Lombard not that far off. So I think if they do make a trade for a position player with the Rockies, it's not going to be Tovar. I think it's going to be McMahon. Yeah. I like young developing prospects. I do. But in terms of impact right now, it probably has to be McMahon. And like I said before, he has a balance that the other guys don't. But nothing's flashy. Like Suarez's bat is flashy. Hayes' glove is flashy. Ryan is just solid in both areas. And that's it. And he's got a mid-7 OPS. So I'll take that. And Jake Bird is filthy. He's filthy. So Jonathan India, I mean, not before Michael Garcia. I think they're going to go for Michael Garcia. And he's got a lot of controllable years. Michael Garcia, he's talked about him where he's got like 5 more controllable years. That's a guy worth looking at. And he's also top 10 in baseball defensively at third base. I went over this yesterday. In the baseball defensive rankings at third base. Excuse me. He was, I think, 8th or 9th. Here we go. Michael Garcia is 9th in defensive ranking. Ryan McMahon is 7th. Okay, Brian Hayes is 3. Eugenio Suarez, 14. He's one above Austin Riley, who's 15. Manny Machado, 16. Max Muncy is 17. So, number 1 is Nolan Arenado. Number 2 is Alec Bohm, who's on the injury list. Number 4 is Caleb Durbin, Brewers rookie. The Yankees get a day off. Yeah, you could see a deal tomorrow. You're right, Bryce. Yeah. Pirates about to sweep Tigers. Yeah, I know. Skeens shut him out yesterday. It was yesterday, the day before. Skeens did his thing. He's probably going to win the Cy Young Award without having even won 10 games. That's a Jacob deGrom thing. Didn't he win a Cy Young Award after winning like 8 games in a season? He was like 8-15. He won a freaking Cy Young Award because his ERA was like 140, something like that. So, yeah, Volpe. I mean, we don't know what the shoulder issue is, but if he injured his shoulder not that long ago in a game, diving. So, but I don't know. That play was a scoopable play yesterday for Goldschmidt more than it was for Bird. So, but like, I'm not gonna really harp on the errors of Anthony Volpe when there's so many other things that you could point out in the Yankees. We don't have any confirmation that it's a shoulder issue yet, but we'll see. Yeah, and Luis Arias too. He's limited defensively with his range to the right? So what does that mean for me? If I'm playing him at third base, I'm playing him close to the line. That way, if he can't get to something, it's likely a foul ball. His range is better to the left, so he can dive for a ball and more likely catch the ball the other way. That's how I would play Luis Arias with his limited range to the right-hand side, right? No. Knobloch, yeah. But Knobloch was terrible, man. He threw the ball into the stands from second base. At least Volpe throws it in the vicinity, right? He doesn't throw it into the freaking yo Ace. What's up, baby? What's going on, man? But yeah, Escar and Pereira. I think that's too much for Arias. Arias is a rental, in my opinion. But if you can go Pereira and Jesus Rodriguez to the Guardians for Cade Smith, that's a deal I would entertain. A lot of people aren't liking Volpe, and that's fine. That's fine. But there's so many other people that just spend their days bashing him every single day. No, and they like to relitigate the World Series of 2024. And we had a content creator this morning complaining that Judge only hitting 345. 50 points higher than the top bat in the National League. 50, 5-0. 50 freaking points higher than the highest bat in the National League. And he's complaining that he's only hitting 345. Like, what planet are we living on with that take? Well, after my stream, I was invited out to Bronx Talks. So I'll go on Bronx Talks for a little bit. But I'll be live probably from 11 to... What time is the trade deadline? Is it 5 or 6 o'clock? Or 4 o'clock? Let's see. I'll tell you right now. The trade deadline ends at 6 p.m. It ends at 6 p.m. So I'll be live until 6. Or maybe even later than that. Maybe after 6. Trust Bellinger. Which is why I think the Yankees are going to make a move. So, yeah, Arias just makes... If you get Arias, it makes most sense to put him at the leadoff spot. That's an obvious. He came here. Yeah. I think a lot of us all need moves from Cashman right now. We need smart moves. But the problem is we don't know who the sellers are. None of the teams have officially said, okay, these guys are available. Let's do business. We haven't heard that yet. And generally we won't. Cashman would find out before any of us do. Right? So I appreciate you, Beagle. Thanks, man. It's a couple young guys. They're good baseball content creators. A lot of fun content. They make good takes. What's up, Stephen B? Rockies, Pirates, yeah. If you could pry like Cade Smith over Emmanuel Clase. Clase is not going to be cheap either, but he's got a bigger track record than Cade Smith. So, Joseph, no, my wife's birthday's the day after, August 1st. Yeah. Yes, indeed. August 1st. But according to her, it's her birthday month. So it's gonna be a month of pampering for my wife, which is fine by me. She deserves to be treated like a queen. So it's crazy, Stephen. People tell me all the time they don't get notifications that I'm live, or they get notifications a day after I put out a short. I wish I could control that. Bronx Talks. I'll show you. I'll show you. Bronx Talks. Yeah, Bronx Talks. That's them. Good young kids. Lorenzo, thank you, man. I wear a lot of polo, man. Ralph Lauren is my dude. I probably have 100 polo shirts. About 100. Your mom just turned 49. Happy birthday to your mom. Dang. Happy birthday, mom. What's up? I wish I can control that, Bill. I'm sorry about that. I have no idea. His bat is worth more than his glove, yes, but that's the thing. His bat could be also offset by negative performance with his glove, and that's a risk that the Yankees are going to have to take. Fantastic Four, baby. You got Ace. You going to review it? Are you going to review it on the channel? Please do, man. I want to know what you're thinking, man. Yeah, 80% bad, 20%. You're right, Petruzzi. What's up, Petruzzi? Yeah, I also wear these for work, my polo shirts. So, sounds good, Ace. I will drop the link to Bronx Talks when I wrap up, and I'll wrap up in a little bit. I will put it down below in the comment section so you can see it if you want. I'll do that. I don't know if I can do that right now live while I'm here because I have to be searching for it. I don't know if I don't want to disconnect us. No. Suarez would protect Judge. I think it would be if you got him, I would bat him 5th, right? And Judge 3rd, Jazz 4th, Cody 2nd. You can go Dominguez or Grisham at leadoff, right? So I have some Hill. I got some Tommy Hill. No, when I was in high school, I just had a Tommy Hill figure. You know that remember that white bag that people used to carry? That was my thing, man. I don't work out in the polo. Not in the dress shirt. No, I don't do that. I have my official training stuff. I definitely know. I don't want to sweat up my polos, man. I don't sweat up my drip, man. You know. Yeah, Twins versus the Dodgers. Let's go Twins, man. They beat Yamamoto yesterday, so you got it, Bill. The Tigers are slumping just like the Dodgers are slumping. So like it's happening right now. Just like the Yankees were slumping a couple weeks ago. The other team, you never know what's going to happen, but it happens to all these teams. That's how we do it, Rodney. You know, that's how we do it, man. Got to keep it straight. You got to keep putting that work, man. Do what I have to do now so I can do what I want to do later. You know, and I got to stay fit too. I got to keep the energy levels high. But most importantly, I want to make sure that we're talking in reality here. Right? No, you're right. No clear cut. You got that right. That's right, man. If the Dodgers investigate, look, I'm still sticking with my pick in the beginning of the year was the Phillies to make the World Series from the National League. I'm still sticking with that. The kid's got me working out, man. Sometimes I do push-ups with them, all 3 of them on my back, so get a little extra resistance. If I can't get to my combine lifts, my NFL combine lifts, then I got to do push-ups with them on my back. You know. The Mets are going through it. Yeah, a lot of teams are going through it, man. It's part of the game. It just for some reason it gets amplified times 10 with the Yankees. Right? The Hornets' nest of people here is different than anywhere else. Queens is not the Bronx. Okay, it's not. Right? The Phillies will be. I think they will be buyers. I think they can look for another bullpen piece and potentially an outfielder. And the Phillies are aggressive, so they want to put themselves over the top to win. Right? So I think they will be buyers. We are exactly, Rodney. It just comes with the territory, man. Yeah, which is why I try to keep a level-headed perspective to keep some of the fans from throwing themselves off the ledge, right? So putting their hair on fire, like you know what I mean? So, but that's how we roll here in this family right here, in the 161 family. I'm gonna continue to do that, man. I want this place to be therapeutic and not stressful, right? So, Duran and Castro, Twins for Lelaine, Flores, Brendan Jones, and If you could get, Bryce, if you could get John Durant and Willie Castro from the Twins for that package, Lalani, he's also can't stay healthy. Flores, I would hate to give up Flores, but I'd understand. I'm okay keeping Escara, and if that's the case. Brendan Jones and Carlos Legrand. If you don't have to give up Dominguez or Spencer Jones, I would consider that, Bryce. That's reasonable. How many push-ups? I don't know, Lorenzo. I mean, I do between 100 and 200. But I do sets of 20. So, but that's me. That's just me. I've been doing them for a long time. So, and I do, like, when I'm on bench, I'm putting up 2 plates. And I'm trying to do like the NFL Combine. Is you benching 225 on the bench, and I'm trying to put up 25 reps. I'm not down at 22 reps now for 225. So I got to get there. That's one of my goals for 2025. I'm only 170 pounds. So, you know, I'm telling you, Rodney, is getting them in. But they're on my back, so they're enjoying the ride. Hey, daddy. So it's fun. I would not trade Judge for Brendan Donovan, man. But I would trade Dominguez or Jones for them. Mm-hmm. I got you, Deron. Yeah. Cody Clemens, isn't he the GM in Philly? I got to get that working, Rodney. Got to get that working in the mornings. And when I do my strength training first, and then I do my cardio portion afterward. And I usually have folks on with me while I'm doing my cardio. So I've got to get that done, baby. Yeah. Yeah, Spencer Jones did make it clear once he's played for the Yankees. Good. Yeah, Rockets. I think he's the GM for the Phillies. If I'm not mistaken. One of his sons is the GM for the Phillies. I think it's Cody Clemens. Right? Or is he? Hold on. Or does he play for the Phillies? Let's see. I think he's got. Hold on. Cody Clemens. So he's an infielder. Okay. He's an infielder for the Minnesota Twins. Infielder and outfielder. Now, who's. Hold on. Hold on a second here. The Phillies GM. Oh, hold on. Preston Mattingly. Mattingly's son is the GM for the Phillies. Not Clemens. Clemens' son is a player. Okay. I had that messed up in my head, man. Yeah, we might get. Well, it's nice right here now. We might get some rain in the forecast, but 8-10, not bad. Forcing to teach me to train. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good. No doubt, Rodney. No doubt. That's one hell of a dad to have. One of the best pitchers in baseball history. Yeah. There was a beehive, a big ass beehive on my walk around, hanging from a tree. I said, "There's no way I'm going near that thing." It was probably the size of a basketball. I said, "Nah, man, I'm not going near that beehive, man. Hell no." I don't know why somebody would let a beehive hang from the tree that low. It's almost face level when you walk. There's no way. You have some kids that, "What's that?" and have a no way, man. Hell no. Almost want to call animal control and get that thing out of here, man. Crazy, man. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But those are the 7 players. Again, I'll recap this for you really quickly, and I'll let you, I'll wrap this up. So, Michael Garcia and Lucas Erceg from the Royals. Mason Mill from the A's. Brendan Donovan and Lars Newbar from the Cardinals. Paul Skeens. Oh, I forgot to mention Paul Skeens. That's the guy I forgot to mention. My apologies. Paul Skeens from Pittsburgh, 5-8 with a 191 ERA. Okay, 5.3 WAR. 5.3 WAR in July. Okay, he's got 4 years of control beyond this year too. He's probably right now he's probably going to win the Cy Young Award in the National League. Or one of the favorites. 122 innings pitched, 137 Ks versus only 31 walks. He's got almost a 5-to-1 walk to strikeout to walk ratio. Paul Skeens. That's the guy I forgot to mention before. And then obviously from the Yankees, Carlos Legrand and Jesus Rodriguez. Those are 8 players that I think should be traded now or at the deadline, but probably won't be. Right? Spencer Jones, I would give up for Paul Skeens or Tarek Skubal. Those are the only 2 arms I would give him up for. Or Dominguez or Lombard. I would give up any one of those guys for Paul Skeens or any one of those guys for Tarek Skubal. So, stress out. Like, get it done, man. Go get it done, Billy. Yeah, I'll let you all go too. So I'm going to get some lunch. Got to get back to work too. So go have a great day, everybody. We'll be back later with the lineup. I'll get it to you in a short. But if other news comes out, you know you're going to get it here, baby. So have a great day. Peace and love to all of you. Thank you again for the super chat. See you next time.